So where do vegans get their protein? I'm gonna answer this question. Daniele Paulino here, holistic health coach, helping people lose weight and overcome their alcohol addiction. If you wanna see topics like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and comment below any questions you have related to this topic. So this is one of the most common questions that I get from new people that hear about the concept of veganism, which is eating whole food, plant-based. And I'm gonna answer this question very easily. So the first things you got to understand, and I'm going to look down because I have some notes here just so I don't miss anything. So the first thing you have to understand is that most humans, they eat chickens, pigs, and cows as far as animals. Those are the majority of animals, and some fish, and the same thing is going to apply. But when it comes to chicken, pigs, and cows, they primarily eat plants. Yes, when they're eating, sometimes they come across some bugs and some, worms or something, but primarily they eat plants. And it's known that when people talk about premium meat, they talk about pasture raised, grass fed, right? That's what people talk about. That's what they look for when they're looking for high quality meat. So the animals that you're eating, they get their protein from plants. They're just a middle ground. They're just the person in the middle. So you want to ask yourself, why, instead of getting your protein from a middle source, right? And here's a problem with the middle source, is that they ingested with different hormones and different injections, different antibiotics that they get ingested with in order to be able to survive in the environment that they're raised in, because they get a lot of infections and a lot of diseases in the environment that they're raised in. So they need an antibiotic and other hormones in order to be able to expand, right? And so you end up eating that. And not only do they get the antibiotics and the hormones that you end up eating when you go to the second source, they also get fed the crop that is very largely fed pesticides and herbicides, which is the next problem. So that is the biggest problem, is we're getting it from meat. And I'm going to explain later on where can you get, like I already said, plants, right? But where do we commonly get protein from aside from animals? Because some people think that that's the only source. So now that I got that out the way, that the animal is the middle ground, the meat, so meat is a toxic form of protein because everything I said, the hormones, and also you're eating a dead animal, right? So when a carnivore eats meat, they're eating it fresh, right? It's alive. It's not dead. It's not wrapped up with all these antibiotics, fed all these herbs. Well, it's the same. It's the same because in the animal planet, they tend to get more cleaner animals because they're out in the wilderness compared to the way that we raise the animals. So it's a little bit different, but they do eat it fresh, right? It's alive. It's alive when they eat it. They don't even cook it, right? And that's the other thing, that when you cook it, you're losing a lot of the nutritional value because it's being burned out of it. So that's some of the problems that you're getting. So aside from those things, here are some plant protein sources, right? So you have the hemp seeds and the chia seed. You have the nuts, you have the chickpea, you have the lentils, you have the quinoa, you have the fruits and vegetables. A lot of people think that fruits and vegetables do not have protein, but it's just not true. Just look at a banana, for example, or various forms of protein. Believe it or not, some people don't know that even watermelon has protein. Yes, in the seed. Go ahead and research it. The seed in the plant has protein. So what else can I say about this topic? So it's almost impossible the other thing that I want to say is that it's almost impossible to be deficient in protein as long as you're eating enough calories of the sources that I explained, nuts and seeds and quinoa and fruits and vegetables, hemp seed, chia seed. As long as you're eating adequate amount of calories, it's almost impossible for you to be deficient in protein. And that's one of the things that people get it confused, they get it twisted. People think that there's actually such a thing as protein deficiency. There does not exist if you're getting enough calories in. And what else can I say about this topic? Aside from that you have to be starving yourself in order for you to not get enough protein. And So how did I become a vegan, right? Because I want to, how did I choose to eat whole food plant-based? Now, around the year 2020, some of you maybe remember, right? Because I used to post more on this channel, but getting a notification there. A family member of mine, I'm not gonna put their information out there, but they got really, really sick. They got heart failure. They were obese. They could barely walk. They could barely breathe. And so they were not able to maintain their health, right? And out of desperation, I started researching, right? I went on the internet, and it was so confusing because you have so many contradictions. And one of the reasons you have contradictions out there is because of the monetary incentives out there. What are the monetary incentives? All the different industries out there, they profit from what they sell, right? So of course they're gonna put on different information out there that is gonna convince you to try to buy what they want to sell you. So for example, if you look at the meat and dairy industry, which is one of the most profitable industries out there as far as when it comes to food, of course they're going to try to convince you to eat that, or whatever industry that you could think of. Now the opposite of that is true, which is that when it comes to fruits and vegetables, nobody could really profit massively from that. Why? Because there's no patents. You cannot patent a fruit and a vegetable, so there's not that much money out there. So that's one of the reasons that there's a lot of confusion out there when it comes to this topic of what should you eat. Now, you want to find sources where people do not have a conflict of interest. So how do I even make money? The only way that I can make money from this is if you hire me as your coach, and I won't get paid extra for trying to promote any products, any vitamins, any nutrients, any surgeries, any pills. I won't get paid any extra. So the incentive for me is, yes, I want to help you understand the best way for you to eat healthily so that you can hire me. So, but going back to the story, so I'm an unbiased source. So I saw that person suffer, and then I was praying to God, I need a solution. How can I solve this issue? And a friend of mine introduced me to the concept of whole food plant-based, and we tried it. We tried it, and guess what? The person lost over 30-40 pounds relatively quickly within months, and they were able to ride their bike and live their life and get back to their peak maximum health. And it was just astonishing. But nonetheless, that person ended up turning away from the way of whole food plant-based, and they had the same issues come right back. Later on, I had my own health issues where I was gaining weight. I went in, my cholesterol was high, my triglyceride was high, and what else? They said I have poor liver function. And when I saw that, because I had departed from the way as well, I started eating like this, but I didn't know how to do it successfully, and so I departed from the way, and then I started experiencing my own health challenges. And then finally I turned back. I said, okay, I'm gonna go whole food plant-based. And when I did it, within 1 month, I lost 17 pounds. I went in for my blood check. My cholesterol, both the good and bad cholesterol, had normalized. My triglyceride had dropped from 292 to like 77. And my liver went back to normal function, right? And it happened because I switched to a whole food plant-based diet. And that's essentially what I promote here. And I want you to do the same. So subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one.